the RAF Museum Visitor Centre straight ahead. Today we have travelled about an hour and a half away from our home in the northwest to RAF Cosford, which is just outside Wolverhampton, and then it is the British RAF Museum. So there's one of the big exhibits is actually being refurbished at the moment, so we're going to miss out on that one. But there's a couple of things that we've got to do. There's some simulator rides. There's a 4D theatre. There's a Spitfire cockpit experience. These are all upcharges. The museum itself is free. Car parking is £7.50. But I'll show you around, see how much fun it is, and see whether you think it's worth coming yourself. So this is the entrance to the museum, and as you can see over here, you've got a car parking area, and then there's the other one here, and then you've got the museum over there, and then to the left of the museum as you walk in, play area here, which is where my children are right now, whilst I've been sorting everything out. Then we're going to go over and head into the museum. So this is the play area, mostly for smaller children, but it has got some bits that are themed around airplanes. So you've got like this, your transporter is being this transporter is towing this plane here. So this is the entrance to the museum. You come over here and you speak to the people, and there's a little cafe over there. Here's the map. So that bit over there, hangar 1, is closed at the moment. So then we've got all these other bits to go around now as well.
Cold War, War in the Air.
Royal Air Force.
RAF. Oh my, look at that missile.
Yeah.
I'd love to say that.
Ah, so what's this one here? It's a plane. So here we can see.
It is my very amazing knowledge of naming planes. That is a plane, that's a plane, and that's a plane.
Yeah, well done.
It's a Domini T1.
Domini T1, which is a
I knew that.
a crew trainer.
Yeah, I knew that.
Did you?
Yeah. Okay.
Did you know that, did you, Josh? With your extensive knowledge of being in the cadets. So this is a Nimrod. So a Nimrod is the RAF, well, was one of the RAF's reconnaissance machines. So these were like the AWACS planes that they have nowadays. These were the precursors to the AWACS. Come on, Nimrods. So this plane is a Lockheed Neptune, which is a long-range maritime patrol plane. This is the Nimrod from this side. Not as many windows as you'd have in a normal plane in the... Oh, can we go up to it? Oh, is it blocked off? Oh, it's blocked off. Looks like a little training plane to me. I'm not an expert though.
That's something you don't see a lot on like little planes.
What?
It's like it's a two-seater, but the two seats are horizontal instead of
vertical. Right. So this is a Catalina. This is a flying boat, or as Joshy likes to call it, a ploat, which is a cross between a plane and a boat. It's a long-range patrol aircraft that can land on the water. Test flight.
Every single plane can land on the water.
So this tells you when the Royal Air Force was founded in 1918. These ones are not new. Strangely enough, Ollie, guess what I'm singing in my head right now? We fought the Führer.
Oh, I wonder why it had Brexit as one of the things on here, but no, it's a world event and then the RF. Sorry.
The Atlantic Star, which was given to people who served in the Second World War.
RAF Falcon attacks Port Stanley Airport. Port Stanley's in the Falklands.
That is correct. You get some badges from some of the other air forces around the world. And then we've got the Japanese government $1. It's weird, isn't it, how the maps were made of silk rather than paper, because it wouldn't. You could fold it a lot easier and put it into a smaller thing. And see, there's a map of Burma and Malaysia. Yeah, and maps made of silk rather than of paper, because you could fold them a lot easier and smaller, and they wouldn't get ruined as quickly. So these are the first types of planes. So this is an engine from an Anzani, which is the British Anzani company, a 6-cylinder air-cooled radial engine.
See the machine gun there, and the machine gun was designed to shoot through the propeller.
Yeah, so it would, because obviously it wouldn't want to shoot the propeller off, would it?
Yeah.
That would be really silly.
At first, they didn't have machine guns, and so they just carried like pistols and stuff into the air, and they shot each other from pistols.
Cool.
While like piloting the aircraft.
This is a Sopwith Pup. So pilots regard this as the perfect flying machine. The Royal Naval Air Service and the Royal Flying Corps. So the Royal Flying Corps was the precursor to the RAF, wasn't it? This was from 1916 to 1918, the Sopwith Pup. So this one over here is a Sopwith 1.5 Strutter. This is the Sopwith 1.5 Strutter, which was designed as a high performance.
And it had a machine gun on the back.
Oh yeah, so you can see on the back there, it has got the machine gun as well as a forward-facing machine gun. It's also got one on the back for a rear gunner. So this was used by both by the Royal Flying Corps, the French Aviation Militaire, and the Belgian and United States Air Forces as well. So this plane up here is the Bristol M1C. Now this is a replica, and this was flown between 1917 and 1918. There's an upgrade on some of the other planes. The cool thing about this one is it's got a cool dragon on the back. Oh, look at this one, Josh. You can see where bombs would have been attached to that. Would they have been? Is that where bombs would have been, or is that just for?
This would have been an interwar plane, because I know in World War One they would have just had bombs in the cockpit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering whether that's been added as after, just as something to be put on at a later point.
I reckon this has to be an interwar plane.
Well, tell us around here. Yeah, this is the interwar years.
Yeah.
So this is the RAF during the interwar years, where they were all aluminium and stuff. Yeah. You can see the improvement in technology. Look at the engines. Look how bigger they are.
It looks closer to like a Spitfire now.
Yeah. So this aluminium coloured one here is a Hawker Hind, which flew from 1935 to 1943. So it had a fixed Vickers machine gun, and it could hold 231 kilograms of bombs, and was used in Egypt, the UK and Afghanistan. And then this one up here, the yellow one, is the Hawker Hart Trainer. So that would have been used to train people to fly the actual ship, the actual plane. This plane here is a Gloucester Gladiator, and this was the last biplane made by the RAF. Last biplane fighter, sorry, and the first to feature an enclosed cockpit. Deliveries began in 1937, so not long before the Second World War, and it would serve during the first part of the Second World War. 4 Browning machine guns, 2 in the fuselage and 2 in the lower wings. You can see those in the wings there. Top speed of 253 miles per hour, or 407 kilometers per hour. And here we might just be able to make them out some of the planes in formation. So this still didn't have retractable landing gear. So this engine here is a Daimler-Benz DB605A, which is the standard engine of most Messerschmitt Bf109Gs. So this is a Messerschmitt Bf109, one of the Nazi planes from the Second World War. You can see this does have retractable landing gear. single propeller engine at the front, and you can see warning, maximum weight. Oh look, this is a Messerschmitt. No, this is a BF 109. It says. Let's try though. You can see the swastika on the back of it. Look.
Censor it or something?
No, not in Germany. I wonder if they're allowed to have swastikas in museums. I know you're not allowed to have them on like TV shows in Germany and stuff like that, and in media. Because Hearts of Iron hasn't got the swastika on it because it gets censored in Germany. So these here are some of the machine guns that would have been fired from planes. So we've got, at the top we've got a Browning machine gun. Then we've got that's a .303 inch. Then we've got the .5 inch Browning machine gun. Then we've got the Hispano Cannon. At the bottom, Hispano Cannon Mark 5.
So this is a replica of a Mark 5 Spitfire, much newer than the Mark 1 that's behind us.
Okay.
Although it's a replica, it is fitted out with the genuine parts.
Okay.
I wonder how much of a difference that is between the Mark 1 and Mark 5.
Wow.
Yourself down between the two panels in front of you. Okay. Oh, that's the compass.
This is a Mark 1 Spitfire, which is an earlier version than the cockpit that we just sat in. This was the first Spitfire, obviously. And it was designed by R.J. Mitchell. And it was one of the leading fighters of the Second World War, certainly one of the leading fighters for the RAF anyway. So this is some information about the Battle of Britain in 1940. So you can see here on this line graph the difference between the fighter planes available and the fighter pilots, and the amount of so you've got the RAF fighter pilot shortage against the pilot losses and against the planes we had all the way through. So we've got all these still at a pilot shortage all the way through until we get to the 17th of September 1940, where Operation Sea Lion was postponed indefinitely, and at that stage our pilot losses start to come down. And the pilot shortage is no longer available, no longer there. This is the Hawker Hurricane, which is the other main plane of the Battle of Britain, certainly on the British side anyway. This is a Hurricane Mark II, 420mm cannon, and was manufactured in larger numbers than anything else. The last Hurricane left the production line in July 1944, and today flies with the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. Top speed of 332 miles per hour, so just a little bit slower than I can run.
That's it. I run fast with you. I bet you I could beat you in a roll race now. I'm fast.
Oh, this isn't a Spitfire, this is a Defiant.
Oh.
So this is the Merlin engine, Rolls-Royce Merlin engines, which were used in the Spitfires, the Lancasters, the Hurricanes, and the Mustangs as well. So during the Second World War, these were used in such great quantities. There's a total production of 168,040 by the end of the war in Europe of these engines, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I knew that all off the top of straight from the top of my dome.
Oh. You might be lying about that.
Nah. So this black plane here is a Boulton Paul Defiant Mark 1, and it was a new concept, two-seat RAF fighter design, concentrating all armament into a 4-gun turret behind the cockpit. Oh yeah, so you can see, look Josh, you can see it's got the it's got a gunner in the rear.
Oh yeah, wow. That's still coming for like a fight.
So this here is the wing of a Dornier 17Z2,
I mean, they
which
couldn't,
is
they couldn't
a
get an actual replica because they were all destroyed, I guess.
no.
So they got
So
their
this was a
remnants.
light bomber that was used by the Germans during the Second World War. So this pilot was forced to ditch in Kent after being attacked by one of the Defiants, one of those planes with the turret at the back. And this is the engine and propeller from the Dornier. So this is what the Dornier would have looked like in flight, dropping some bombs. But this is the engine and propeller of the Dornier that was found. So this plane here is a Fairy Delta, an FD2. This is a supersonic research aircraft from 1954 to 1966. Here is the coolest plane here. Well, it's the coolest modern contemporary plane here by a long shot. This is the experimental aircraft program that became the Typhoon. So the EAP flew between 1986 and 1991, and it was used to develop advanced technologies intended for what became the Eurofighter Typhoon. This is the precursor to the Typhoon. This is what they used to help design it. You can still see that it was definitely.
I never realised how early the Eurofighter came.
I didn't. This was from 1986 to 1991.
The actual Eurofighter first went into service in 1994, which seems a lot longer.
Seems a lot, yeah. You think it's a lot more recent, don't you?
No.
So this is the British Aircraft Corporation TSR-2 XR220, a tactical strike reconnaissance aircraft that was conceived in 1956 but was cancelled. So what we've got here is we've got some of the models that were probably used in the wind tunnels to test the aerodynamics of these planes. So this is the Fairy Delta 3, which was cancelled, never built. This is the Bristol Type 4. This is a plane from. So this was also cancelled. And this is the Hawker P1103, which was also cancelled. Yeah, I think they all were, Josh. I think that's the point.
That one there, that one's so weird.
Yeah. So this is the Saunders Row SR-77, which was a planned successor to the SR-53. And look, this one is so bizarre. How did this even fly? A Supermarine Type 559 was designed in the late 1950s.
Okay.
Looks like something from the Thunderbirds.
I know. But something I've noticed is that it goes Mach 2.3.
Hmm.
And this one goes Mach 3.
English Electric P10. No, it's that one. This one here is.
This one's the Vickers Titan.
This maximum speed for this plane here would have been 1980 miles per hour, which is Mark 3.
So
this weird looking spaceship that looks like it's the Fantastic Four's aircraft or something like that.
This is the
It's the Vickers Type 010.
Yeah, it's a flying wing. It was first used in World War II by the Germans.
Oh yeah.
In an experimental aircraft, and then it was later used as the P2 stealth bomber.
Oh, these are weird. Look at this.
Look, it has no fins or anything because it relied on the engines. Because the engines probably would have had some sort of gimbal that would have controlled their thrust, like up and down.
Oh right. Fairy P75, and then this is the Armstrong Whitworth AW681, and then here we have a Kestrel, a Hawker Kestrel, Hawker Siddeley Kestrel, which is very definitely a precursor to the Harrier, isn't it? Yeah. So this was one of the first vertical takeoff and landing. It's so interesting to see all these planes that were designed and never actually went into production. You can see the thrusters here, the nozzles that were moved around, so you could do the vertical takeoff and landing on this particular vehicle. Strike hard, strike sure, bomber command. By mid-1940, the only way for Britain to take the war to the enemy homeland was through the RAF's bomber command.
Isn't that
By 1945, the command had helped deliver Allied victory.
55,000.
But at what cost? 55,000 of its aircrew were dead and over 8,000 were injured. Hundreds of thousands of civilians had perished in Germany and the Axis. And Allied bombing raids across Europe had left cities in ruins.
Like a V2 rocket.
Yeah. What's this one? So this is a Bristol Blenheim, a Mark IV bomber. Top speed of only 266 miles per hour, which is one of the reasons why they were intercepted. So this here is a de Havilland tiger moth, and we saw mini tiger moths at the Godsill Miniature Museum. Miniature tiger moths. So this was a popular training aircraft and was used all the way to the 1950s, early 1950s. And there are still over 200 tiger moths flying today. So this bar chart here shows the amount of planes. So this bar chart, so here, down here we have the types of plane at the bottom. And then the bar chart above it represents how many of those planes were in service. The Lancaster was the most common one toward the end of the war. And the Halifax was more or less phased out, and then we also had the Mosquito as well towards the back end of the war. So these are some bombs that we dropped by the Allies in the Second World War. These are some bombs that were dropped by the Allies in the Second World War. This one here is a general purpose bomb, 1,000-pounder Mark II.
They would have. The majority of bombs used would have been a lot smaller than that, because they would have used incendiary bombs, which were designed to like smash through bunkers and buildings and stuff. And if you have something blow up in the middle of a building instead of on the outside, it would do a lot more damage.
Oh, right. So these ranged in weight from 20 pounds to 4,000 pounds, but suffered from a low explosive to weight ratio. And then here we have a 4,000-pound high-capacity bomb, which ranged in weight from 2,000 to 12,000 pounds. They contained large explosives in a relatively thin casing, making them effective for demolishing factories and residential buildings. So this is the fuselage from a short Sterling Mark II that was found in the Pennines. It crashed in a training flight across the Pennines. So this here is a Junkers Ju-88.
This was designed as a fighter and a bomber, as like a mix between the two.
So this is a Junkers Ju-88, which, interestingly, this night fighter was flown to RAF Dice in Scotland by a defecting Luftwaffe crew in 1943.
Wow.
And we were able to then study the radar equipment and use that for countermeasures.
They must have had common sense and realised that they're losing the war.
Well, or maybe they didn't want to be Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
This is the front of the Junkers. Look at the weird radar equipment on the front.
Yeah.
So bizarre. So this here is a captured Fairey battle propeller blade and was repurposed as a tally board recording the flak units, so the anti-aircraft artillery units victories, so the amount of planes they shot down. So this is a Messerschmitt 440, Josh. That's a very rare plane. I don't think I've ever even heard of one of these, never mind seen one.
I've heard of one.
This here is a V1 rocket. I think the V stood for Vengeance, if I remember rightly. And these were also known as doodle bugs during the war. And when they flew over, you could hear the propellers. And people weren't scared of them when they could hear the propellers. But when the propellers stopped, that meant they were coming down, and that's when people started to get scared because they were going to bomb the cities. Yeah, it's launched from. So it was launched from this. It'd be launched from one of these rails.
I thought it'd be like computer guided or whatever.
No. It had a gyro in the front to
Stabilize.
and to guide it to where it needed to be.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But it wasn't. It didn't have. I suppose it probably had a primitive computer, I guess. Yeah, sorry. Wasn't not propellers. The engine in the back. Once the engine went quiet, you knew it was coming down because they were very, very noisy, which is why they were called doodlebugs, I guess. This here is this is the V2. Now these rockets were, they are liquid jet propelled. Is that what it is, Josh? So it's the world's first supersonic. So this is a V2, and this is an example of a V2. So it's a reproduction. It's not an actual V2, but it's what it would have looked like in the correct size and everything. And it was the world's first supersonic ballistic missile, and it was assembled by the British at the end of the war, made from captured parts, and then it was used in research. So this plane here is a Focke-Wulf FW-190. This is a German fighter that challenged us, but that was the same sort of technological prowess as a Spitfire. That's interesting. So the grey-blue underside of this was painted in this way so that it would be difficult to see from underneath. So it's painted grey-blue underneath, so it'd be difficult to see from the ground. So this is an incendiary bomb. The Allied bombers used these to destroy industrial and urban targets and set off massive firestorms in the factories and stuff of the enemy. Not forgetting, of course, the Germans started this war. So this here is a de Havilland Mosquito, and that's how many. Underneath it, we've got the door of one of the mosquitoes showing how many victories it's had in the air. So this behemoth here, this rather large plane here, is an Avro Lincoln B2, and this was the last British-made propeller bomber. It was built in Coventry at the end of the Second World War and served with the bombing school until 1960. That's a big plane, that. So this plane here is a Hawker Tempest. So this is the ultimate, as it's described. This is described as the ultimate single-piston engine fighter. Served with the RAF in what is now Pakistan before being transferred to the Indian Air Force. It returned back to this particular unit returned back to the UK in 1979. It was active from 1945 to 1949. So over here we have one of the most interesting planes here in this World War II section, because this is one of the first ever jet fighters. This is an ME-262. One of the biggest problems with this plane was that Hitler wanted it to be an attack weapon, and he wanted to put bombs on it rather than have it as a fighter.
And they did. One of the versions of it actually had like a huge, I think it was it was basically a tank cannon on the front.
Yeah, but the problem is because it was and because it wasn't designed to have massive bombs on the bottom of it, it then messed up a lot of its aerodynamics and stuff like that, and it couldn't perform as well as a bomber as compared to what it was as a fighter, which is what it was intended to be. And fighters are a defensive.
Pretty sure you can see it here.
Oh yeah, where it would have had a cannon at the front there.
No, that would have been like a 40mm cannon, which is basically.
At the front is the ports for the 30mm cannon. So that's where it had its. That is the only armament. That bit at the front where the cannon is, 30mm. But that's the only weapon it had on it. Josh didn't have anything else in the wings or anything.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have been able to basically aim you had to aim the plane, didn't you? I guess, but I suppose that's so.
It would have been too fast. They didn't think it would need any more guns because they designed it as an interceptor, basically. Designed it to fly up.
Oh, it did have rockets as well, apparently.
Oh yeah, it did have rockets. But they designed it to fly up and basically take down bombers in like 1 or 2 shots and then fly away.
You look at, so this could fly. When you see the bombers around there, like the Wellington bomber flew at 262 miles per hour top speed. The top speed for this was 560 miles per hour, like more than twice the speed of the bomber. So this is the Cold War exhibition here at the RAF Museum in Cosford. So this is a Centurion main battle tank, which was the main battle tank of the of Great Britain. Interesting. It just came after the end of the Second World War, but was used in various different theatres, such as Korea, Vietnam, and the Middle East, Arab-Israeli wars. So this is the cockpit to a Hawker Hunter F4, which was the frontline aircraft of the RAF in the mid-1950s. Cold War cockpits. Unfortunately, you can't go in those at the moment, but this is a Phantom. So at some stage you can actually go in these. These are some of the models of foreign planes. We've got a Sukhoi Su-24. So this here is a Hawker Buccaneer. This was in service between 1962 and 1994, and this was used off aircraft carriers such as the Ark Royal. This one here is interesting because this is a MiG-21, which is a single-seater interceptor used by the Soviets and sold to lots of other places, other nations. I believe North Korea have MiG-21s, don't they?
How is it still in service? I mean,
To date, 2006. No, they will be in some countries. Probably in North Korea, for starters. Plane here is a Oh, sorry, no, it's not. That's the plane at all. This bomb here is a WE-177 multi-purpose nuclear weapon. This one here, what we've got here is a General Dynamics F111, which is a deep strike interdictor. First combat aircraft to introduce the variable geometry wing. This plane here is a MiG-15. So MiG stands for Mikhail Gurevich. There you go, you learn something new every day. So this is an Armstrong Whitworth Meteor, which was a low-wing night fighter. I really think the way their jets are inside the wings are so weird, aren't they? This here is a Canberra. It's a high altitude reconnaissance aircraft. Over here we have some of the air-to-air missiles. Some examples of some air-to-air missiles or air-to-ground missiles. And so we've got some SRAM. So we'll start from the very beginning, shall we? We'll go through these. This is the Martel. Start from the beginning and go through this. This is a Martel, which is an air-to-surface tactical missile. And then we've got an SRAM, which is an air-to-air missile. And then a Harpoon, which is an anti-ship missile. And then this here is a Skyflash, which is another air-to-air missile. And then an Alarm, which is an air-to-surface missile. Then the Fire Streak, which is an air-to-air missile. The Aphid, which is another air-to-air missile. And the Red Top, which is an air-to-air missile with a red top, unsurprisingly. And then a Sidewinder. Sidewinder is an air-to-air missile, one of the ones I've actually heard of, Sidewinder missiles. And then a Sparrow air-to-air missile. So this is the bomb bay. Yeah, this is the bomb bay of a Vulcan. So this is a Vulcan bomber. And we'll have a look at that from, look at the size of it. And then we've got this one up here, which I'm not sure what that is. Ah, so that is a Hunter, which is a two-seat training aircraft. Checkpoint where you can get some snacks.
Well, that reminds me, I found another game like I could guess it. But it gives you a picture and you have to examine the picture and you have to guess where it is and what time it was taken. And it goes from like 1900 to the present day.
Cool. You are leaving the American sector.
And the best part is you can submit your own photos. Like you could submit, for example, the one where Martin Luther King is holding up his hat or whatever.
Oh.
Why do they have different sounds?
This is a section of the Berlin Wall. So this is an actual part of the Berlin Wall. A segment of the 4th generation of the Berlin Wall. This is the BAE tracked Rapier, which is an anti-aircraft missile defense armored carrier. So this would have carried a mobile anti-aircraft missile battery. And this plane here is an Avro York. And right here we have a tank. It's a gun. No, this is a main battle tank. Ah, interesting. So this is the Leopard 1. So this is a West German designed main battle tank. It looks odd because the gun is facing backwards rather than forwards. And again, this is the front of the Avro York. You can see the Vulcan underneath. This is a test missile from one of our submarines. So this is a Resolution class submarine, the Polaris. Oh, sorry, no, they ended their patrols in 1993. What do we use at the moment? Oh, these ones around here, isn't it? The Trident, isn't it?
Joe's son childish, isn't he?
So I'm talking twaddle, obviously, because this one here is actually a Soviet Union Typhoon class submarine. And we've got some anti-aircraft batteries here. And this is a very odd-looking thing. Is this an armoured personnel carrier with a gun on it? Yeah, this is an APC. This is a Russian BMP-1 APC. And this is an intermediate range ballistic missile. Intermediate range, look at the size of it. It's enormous. Called Thor. Anti-ship missiles here. Some anti-tank missiles. So this is a light armoured reconnaissance vehicle called the Scorpion.
Why do you have minifins?
Minifins.
Minifins. Oh, these minis. That emergency.
What?
They're not minis.
That's a mini. This is a Trabant. This is an East German car, this one here. This is a Trabant. This is a Mini Ollie. This is the original Mini. No, that's a Beetle. Or if you're American, a VW Bug. A VW Beetle. And his road tax is out of date.
When is it due?
31st of October 2006.
Oh.
This is a long-range transporter called a Belfast. It's a Sikorsky long-range combat search and rescue helicopter. That is a big helicopter, that. Look at the size of it. I mean, I've been in a helicopter and it was scary, but it was only a little private one. Look at that. It sure as hell didn't have a minigun on the side of it, I'll tell you that right now. A light tactical transport plane.
Take off or landing.
And then we've got this cool looking plane up there, which I don't know what it is. This is the back of the transport plane with a Jeep inside it. So at the end of the Cold War, we've got Khrushchev and we've got Brezhnev. And we've got Gorbachev, and I don't know who the other fella is. Pretty cool though. Quite fun. And then as you exit through this, there is Lenin up there. But it's also quite a well-stocked shop with lots of stuff for you to spend your money on. Lots of stuff for your children to make you spend your money on as well. Here we have well, what Josh says is a C-130, but we'll have a look in a minute because I'm not convinced it's a C-130. Okay, this is, as I said, this is very much the same as the one we saw flying down the Mersey the other day, isn't it? So that'll be what we saw fly. Is that still propeller?
Yes.
Yeah.
Turboprop.
We saw one flying down the Mersey a month or so ago, and we were trying to work out what it was, but we couldn't.
If it looks similar to this, the Americans still operate them. So it could have been an American one.
Okay.
But no, these went through 2022. They left service. Much to quite a lot of the sadness because it's a beloved aircraft and it's worked so long.
Yeah.
But airframes just got a bit too old and a bit too tired.
Fair enough.
Whereas the Americans have been able to pay for and build new ones. Our ones just get a bit old, so we went with the newer aircraft.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I will write.
This is a VC-10. So that is the end of our day here at the RAF Museum here in Cosford. We have had a really nice day. This is a lovely little day out. It's a fantastic museum. It is a national museum, so therefore it is free. It shouldn't be free. I'm going to be honest. You should have to pay to come in here. It's a really good attraction. It's not free in the way that your kids will make you spend money on the merchandise in here, but we brought a picnic, so it made it a little bit more palatable. But overall, parking is £7.50. That's the only thing you have to pay if you come here. But really good day out. Fantastic pieces of history. Some really lovely, beautiful aircraft in here. And really interesting and well thought out exhibits. Highly recommended for a day out. You have been watching Munchy Road Hippopotamus. Thank you for joining us in our adventures. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy our channel and tell us about any adventures that you have in the comments below. Get out there and explore your world.